let me set the kind of a platform of our meeting today. This is part of the effort of the Institute for Higher Learning. So it's in a way of reaching out to kind of, to put down the perspective that we hold, maybe the approach we undertake. The kind of work we are doing. Probably this will kind of give you an insight to that. First of all, rest easy. This is not going to be one of those sessions that someone preaches to you the effort you need to do, or to kind of point out what you're not doing. So it's not really about asking you to undertake an effort, more so to explore what does this word effort actually means. I think that the title they gave for today, the illusion of effort and the art of spontaneous awakening. First, we talk about the illusion of effort. If you want to understand the base of it from childhood, almost everybody say, do this, do that, don't do this. And of course, we definitely to thank the moralist who keeps telling us to adjust our morality. And everything is reduced to only our effort. And I'm here today to challenge that notion a little bit. If effort would have led us to something more, we have been doing enough effort. To a large extent, we do many, many things. I'm not denying the need for effort, but I'm saying it has been a weapon that has been used against us to hold us responsibility. And then we go on prosecuting ourselves to do, and by now, if you are reaching to listen to me, most probably you're incredibly worried about it. And many things they failed. Sorry guys, I have a sore throat. Almost everyone told us, your effort, it's your effort, it's your effort, okay? And we kind of buy into that idea, then I must do, if not, I'm responsible. But there is an error to effort. We go into this slowly. I can do what I can do. That's all I can do. And within my doing, I am. Anything more than me escapes me. The conventional conviction is, you have to do, it's your effort, but now follow this. My effort is limited to me. I go to the gym, I lift a weight. I can only lift the weight I can lift, that amount of reps I can do. So I'm limited to me. I can't lift more than what I can lift. But yes, if I do what I can do, there is a possibility my muscle will grow. Then when I grow, my effort expands. My ability expands, not my effort. Yes, there is a place for effort. But is that all? We have reduced ourselves only to our doing. By that, we have denied evolving. We have denied awakening. This word has not been understood at all. To set the real tone of this meeting today, and doing it in Zoom is definitely an interesting experience, I'll start off with this little joke for you. It's usually I'm in that situation. Wake up, son. It's time to go to school. But why, mommy? I don't want to go. Give me 2 reasons why you don't want to go. Well, for one, the kids hate me. Second, the teachers hate me. Well, there are no reason not to go to school. Come on now, get ready. Well, you give me two reasons why I should go to school. Well, for one, you are 52 years old. And for another, you are the principal. So here I am. You didn't get that joke? No? I thought it was okay. The illusion of effort. I get depressed because I think I didn't do enough. But there's an error to effort. I can do only what I can do. And what I've done has determined me. Is there another door that we are missing? That is where the ego develops. I did it. Really? The notion of the ego, if you want to understand, it has reduced everything to itself. It's even convinced it was responsible for the sunrise and the sunset. But if we step beyond a result only by my effort, we are in an unknown territory. We feel helpless. So maybe the first awakening or first insight is, I am limited to my effort, to me. I know this is very hard to accept because everybody is selling that you do. If you want to lose weight, you do. People have no understanding of the chemical process in the biology. Or a capacity of a well-baked cheesecake that can override my own determination. My little weakness. Sometimes you see these people and you should hate them. They eat all they want and they don't put on a pound. I just have to look at food and I gain. Then they say it's you. Alcoholism that was thought to be a weakness of character, now we know it's something to do with the brain and chemical. Diabetes is not only my habits, it can be my predisposition too. So the first thing I want you to rest yourself into is, I'm not going to position you in a way to sell you an effort or something like that and hold you responsible only for the lack of effort. I'm saying effort has to be relooked at again. But we are interested in becoming someone who's super galactic, that I attain enlightenment by my own effort. And no. It's like, it's in my effort I made that girl love me. Well, I don't think it works that way. Suddenly when we go beyond effort, there is this opening of the arm, The Hindus did it, Many, many years ago. I learned from a teacher, the yoga, the sun salutation. Then I was researching, what does it mean? Part of the whole exercise is to say it's not all only determined in my effort. There is something more that I allow to happen to me too. It is not a reduction only to me. It is I'm available for something more too. Can you see? That was the beauty of it. One of the insights. So it's called yoke. It's becoming one. Let me go back to this again. Tolerate my coughing yesterday. My identity of me is based on my effort. I identify only the result of my effort, and sometimes I claim things that happen on its own as my effort. By 60, if somebody doesn't bawl, he claims he did it. I don't think so. But now when I go beyond the effort, you feel helpless. You say, what do I do, Master? Winston Churchill drank 2 bottles of whiskey, smoked 20 cigars a day and lived up to almost close to 90, and he was overweight his whole life. Well, then they will say, oh, it's genes. Am I saying there shouldn't be effort? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you reduce yourself to effort, you reduce yourself to only what is there, you do not open to anything more. Follow this, sir. Like the curse of meditation. It was this principle that I sit and I allow something more than just my effort to be there. It is now has been reduced to an effort. Slowly, see whether we can grasp this. I think we have been very cruel to ourselves. And I think it has been the source of the ego, people to tap their chest and say, I did. Really? You should read some of the books by Malcolm Gladwell, some of the outliers and Blinken. Quite interesting. When I read the book, I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. I said, I didn't meet him, but I said, thank you. You liberate us. You also liberate us to live out the limitation of our effort. I'm sure if I put the next 10 years in singing, there's a possibility for 3 minutes you might not have a murderous instinct to kill me, which is what you will have now if I sing. Birds migrate. My effort can bring me that far, but for somebody else, it's wow. They seem to have that ear. They seem to have that note. So am I talking about relaxing the ego a little bit? And then to be open to something more than effort. Again, I'm not condemning effort. I'm saying, is my effort condemning something more to happen? It's like falling in love, Not that Master is an expert, but from my observation. I don't think it's our doing that makes it happen. I think it's something that happens beyond our doing. I don't think it's even a conscious process. I think it's something that happens. That's why it's so elusive. I'm sorry. I might be challenging the very structure of some of you. I don't mean to be rude. But just listen me out. It can be a liberation too. So we begin this way. Have I limited myself only to my effort? By that, I deny growing and evolving. That I'm not available. You see, when I do, it's limited to the doer. I can lift the weight I can lift. If I use that as an example, I can't lift more than what I can lift. And at my age, I'm pretty impressive. But as impressive as it may be, it's limited to only that. So let's begin this. Is there another way? Have I blocked something? Some of the greatest invention happen in people's dream and spontaneous and accidental. So I am not here to preach in any way to tell you that you did not make an effort and because of that effort alone. I'm saying there is a danger to the effort that you may reduce yourself only to that effort. And this is not an invitation to be lazy. This is an invitation to be open to something more. So the notion of I, even though it gives an identity, does it restrict me to that I? If you ever study, must have great interest in this. Like painting, all the Renaissance and all the changes, the modernism and impressionism, they were all breaking of a particular identity. Of course, then Picasso came and he broke everything and we haven't recovered ever since. It's breaking of a paradigm. And the paradigm, is it set by my effort? So, am I judging me only by my effort, that means I am living, limiting me to just me, is that the calamity? Sorry. And we are forcing, and then you hear people say, I did this and I went into a cave. Who asked you to go to a cave? Can you see the error of it? I'm inviting you to see the error. That I limit it to my effort. I'm not saying effort is not important, but I'm saying if the effort is used wrongly, you are limited to your effort. And by that, I reject evolving. Now, what happens if I reject evolving? My brain ends. I can't see beyond me. And that would be a calamity. Then I truly grow old. That means I destroy the more. My suspicion, the experience of God that many speak about, could it be a moment they freed themselves from this limitation of effort and they were open to something more, and that more was so vast than the limitation of themselves, did they identify that expansion as God? I'm just saying, could it be? So I go back again. I go back again. Have I been asked to be responsible for things that are beyond me yet? Slowly. Part of the work we undertake, we might call it an effort or a discipline, but the real discipline is not to let this limit me and to keep me available for something more to happen. And to exist in that spectrum that is available. Our evolution must have not been by just our effort. It must have been something that happened beyond my effort. I did not create this. Something more is at play. I can't identify with it because I only identify myself with an effort, so I limit myself to that. But I think there's a trickery to it. There's power to this effort, about effort. Many people will tell you, okay, I'll tell you what to do, you do, and you can never do as how they are saying it. And then they trap you. They never have to deliver anything. They prosecute you by what you are not yet capable to do and hold you responsible for that. And it's easy to tell somebody to do. Buddha said for many hours, you try. Could it be our self-condemnation, our self-hatred, is because we thought it is within our doing and we limit everything to our doing? Could that be one of the calamities of humanity? I'm sorry if this is not what you probably were expecting to hear, but it's worth exploration, I promise you. Maybe you're looking for a way to do something and to say, I did it. "26 years ago, something happened to me I didn't do. I cannot claim. I don't have any attribute or the ability at that moment for that which happened to me. It happened. So I cannot make an ego out of it. Fluke. By chance. By that, have I removed my rest? Rest must be to allow something happen. They always say in the world of bodybuilding or working out, you actually go hurt yourself in the gym and then you grow it at night when you sleep. You tear your muscle and then you build it at night. It appears when you rest, that's when it builds. Could that be the right effort? an effort to exercise so something within me can grow? Now, I ask this question. Have you been moving in the direction to prove I can do, or just limit yourself only to your doing? Or have you lived in a realm available for something to happen? My days with my masters were not deep in doing, Half of the time listening to something he's saying that I barely understood. But most often it was art just being and allowing something to happen. And so many things was happening. But I know in the West, I've seen they use this word. They said, we met and one thing led to another and something happened. I heard that statement. But I think it's used in a different understanding. Or is the mind so lost in trying to have power in doing, it reduces everything to doing? The first time, if you ever research it, the word meditation happened is when doing ended. They knew this is a realm beyond doing. If you're an artist, you're a writer, you're a poet. I'm sure Michelle will tell me she's a great artist. Half of the time, the inspiration happened. It happened. Half of the time, the inspiration happens. Of course, then you put an effort to put it on a canvas or to visualize it. Could that be the true understanding of meditation? Not this sitting and doing. It's again in the realm of doing. It's a realm limited to you. Could it be possible? I'm saying, this is my view, the day you understand this, you might undertake the right effort to hold you for something to happen, but for most people, they cannot allow something to happen, then they cannot claim it as they did it. You understand? So, like I used to know a friend who's a mathematician, a genius. For him, maths is poetry. For me, it's pure pain. Do you think it became poetry only by his effort, or he found himself that way, sir? Of course, he put great years of effort. He became excellent about it. That he had it. So I think the first thing is, I want to be kind and merciful. I want us to begin where we are, not as an excuse to be lazy, but as a truth. Then I rest, Even though the ego claims what it did, it also must claim what it didn't do and what it can't do. So the experience of failure, could it be a misunderstanding? So now, is my aggression, I'm limiting everything to my doing, I'm not open to more. Understand? That I've blocked my own evolutionary brain to birth something more because I've reduced myself only to my ability or my capacity to do. Could that be my error, sir? By that, I'm not allowing anything more to wake up in me. And more so, if a doctrine is given, an ideology is given, you are limited by that doctrine. So could it be the exercise, one of the great exercises, that I'm available to? And I'm saying it is a spontaneous happening. The effort you can do is expose yourself to something, to allow it. It's almost like vaccination, I had the Sinovac, the China vaccine. My Chinese has been improving. They pricked me, they sent me home, they said rest a few days. I said, what will happen? Your body will create antibody. I'm like, oh, that's pretty magical. We can't do sleep. Have you seen? We can sleep, we can lie down. You can't do. So has the egocentric view of ourselves that is limited to our doing has held us only to the limitation of our doing. By that, we ourselves are blocking anything more. Is that part of your life available for you, or we have choked ourselves? Like even to find a mate, now we think I have to be handsome, I got to get a six-pack, and so on, and I don't know what else people are doing, They think it's a result of their effort. Is it? I'm sure the effort is needed. One should present oneself properly. Which means I must wake up to be an eternal enthusiast. Look at the word I'm using. Right? Eternal enthusiast. I am this today, but I don't know what I'll wake up tomorrow. Like science, What they did this last year was sheer miracle, Hopefully it really is the answer. What takes 10, 20 years to create, they did it in few months, the vaccination, and hopefully. The only side effect I hope is that I have an interesting accent and I like Chinese food. I can live with that. Somebody was asking me about the vaccine. They said, what about the long-term effect? I said, first of all, I don't know whether you will have a long-term. That's all my argument is. I understand people are worried in the long-term they might put a chip in you or you will follow Bill Gates or some kind of nonsense like that. But I am not sure at my age, if I get it, will I have a long term? So I will take the risk. Understand? I was reading today, they said even 100 over doctors and nurses who were vaccinated did die because of COVID too. So might be some other circumstance. But again, am I introducing something to you? Am I introducing the quality of rest, the quality of evolving, the quality of participating, or am I reducing myself only to my effort? And when I reduce it to only my effort, I'm becoming very egoistical, aren't I? That I did it. It's my doing. And if I take that direction, can you see I limit myself to me? And when I'm limited to me, at some point, I'm going to collapse because there are things that are going to be beyond my effort. Could this be what true meditation is? It's not a practice. It's that I'm in a state, something more. I think when couples or relationship, they don't kill the more, there's a chance of longevity. Right? But this is rather hard in a world where we are rewarded for our egoistical pursuit. I did it. When Master was much younger, I had an opportunity to listen to, in my 20s, a lot of the so-called international speakers and successful people, and they're up on the stage saying how they became successful. At least in my inquiry after many years, I realized they're all full of it. They go up the stage and they get up 6:30 in the morning and they do this. And I got to know them, they were waking up at 11:30. And I'm like, no, they're hallucinating. They're trying to reduce something that happened to him to his doing. That is a misrepresentation. Now, am I saying effort is not needed? I'm saying the effort must not stop the happening. The effort must not be in the way of awakening. If you see spirituality, one of the most difficult things about spirituality is been reduced to an action. Do this, do that. And if it doesn't happen, it is your fault. You're not doing it rightly. No, not really. I think it's a tool to control, a tool to make you feel bad about you. Tool to keep selling you something. And you see this far more in the middle income or lower income. I want to work hard, Master. No, they don't say, I want to learn and be awakened to how to be successful. No. They reduce it to the effort. Can you see? I have to work hard. Will this have any value for you, if you don't mind? Must go into this slowly. If you can grasp this right now, there is no effort. From today, you open to something more. You can be inspired tomorrow. Something can happen that wakes you up. I think we lose interest in the other when we reduce them only to a doer. By that, we kill the surprise of the more they can be. And by the time we conclude this is all that person can be, we dismiss them. If not, two people can be an eternal surprise. Again, to repeat this, I'm not talking against effort, but I'm talking against effort that dismisses happening to. Could I be speaking about love, Christine? Could I be speaking? Not romantic love, must know nothing of that. Could I be talking about love? Is love that state I'm not limited, sir? It's not reduced to my effort. It is more than my effort. It's something beyond my effort. I'm sure Michelle will be in agreement with me. Many times when I finish a painting, feverishly work on it for weeks or months, and then many days later when I look at it, I say, did I do that? It's more than what I thought it can be. Something happened. Something more. So I must not only come into action, but I must also learn to be in a let go. Now, what is the action of the institute is this? And it's not an institute of teaching. It's an institute of learning, that you're invited to learn, to explore, to give yourself a chance to be awakened to something. It's not an enforcement of an idea or an ideology. It's just a learning portal that you can participate and maybe give yourself a chance to be awakened to something more. Because what I came to is non-transferable, and it didn't happen by my doing. The only thing I will say, I got lucky or my masters took pity on me. Or maybe I was in a space I know how to be, not to be reduced only to my doing. Like an artist, Michelle, every time you go into a canvas, you don't want to repeat yesterday. You're on the verge of prayer, musicians, isn't it? That's why yoga originally was an action that you remind yourself every morning, not to be only reduced to that action. It's an action to allow something more. I go into union with all. And I live my day with that holding. Not that I don't do, but I don't cancel something more than doing. Could that be the first inspiration of the idea of God? Not the common understanding. I'm talking about the inspired human being understanding. There's something more that is making. If you see the human evolution, it's a miracle. We are quite an incredible, but we can't claim we did it. I'm quite convinced out of my survey, if man is allowed to invent himself, he will have 3 legs or a long tail or something like that. Because his obsession of that is incredible. So now, this might sting a little bit. Have I become egoistical? So will be the question. People ask, what is the ego? Could it be limiting everything to me? By that I deny anything more. Sir, as I speak to you, sir, madam, I don't have faith in me, madam. I have faith in the more. And the only faith I have is probably, this is also speculation, that I can hold myself without killing the more. Could that be meditation? For Master to keep a certain level of health, I allow so many people, like there's Dr. Schweitzer there, there's Wendy, there's so many people to play a role. So I don't know what they talk about. I trust them. If not, I limit to me. Isn't it? It ever so often it happens that someone escapes this need to reduce everything to control to him. And you must understand, you are limited to you, this I. You see, you are not the person you were 10 years ago. You have grown, right? But if you limit yourself to the person 10 years ago, you couldn't have grown. Isn't it, madam? That's why I say you have no business feeling bad about you. Mildly maybe, but not totally. Now the psychologists know if somebody is alcoholic, they say you have a condition. They don't say shame on you. Then we should shame the diabetic person. We should shame the person with cancer. Of course, there would be our part to it. But is it all? I tell you a very nice personal story. I have an uncle, my mother's elder brother. He's close to a saint. He's a very beautiful man. Very simple man, village man. But he had a bit of royal blood in him. It showed it. He had liver cancer, and my elder brother was a doctor, was treating him, so he was there. He was not very good. They put a chemo pot or something onto him. He got up, he grabbed the doctor. He's quite macho. He grabbed the doctor, looked into his eye, said, "Tell me the truth. Did it happen because I drank some beer once in a while?" The doctor said, "No, sir." Okay. "Is it because I smoked the cigarette?" He looked into his eye, said, "No." "Okay, then it's okay." And that night, he went home and died. He was saying, am I responsible? Is he? And he wanted to know, look at his innocence. Is it because I drank? He drinks beers like maybe once a month. Or smoked a cigarette. And he has a very beautiful story about smoking. Somewhere he heard he had to quit smoking, so he stopped cold turkey and he had withdrawal symptoms. So he asked my grandmother to blow the cigarette onto his nose. So he has a little relief, He quit, my grandmother started smoking. So you must understand, it's a very simple family, they're not sophisticated. But he wanted to know one thing. Was I responsible? No? Okay, I can die now. I think that is within all of us, isn't it? I think we should be humbled a little bit. You understand? That's why I think spirituality, from the way many hold it, is bogus. It's again a doing. I'm spiritual. What do you mean by that? Just because you don't eat meat or don't do this and that, you are that? I think it's incredibly cruel. Now, Master's approach. I think you should undertake learning, expose yourself to learning, and allow something to happen. To live unlimited. I think that is love. I suspect that is love. Not love for a nice-looking man or a woman that's breeding. But I think that is love. That I don't prosecute you only for your action. I think I allow something more. You can play a role in my life. I can play a role in your life. We can inspire each other. We can come together as a humanity. Like, I think we are looking for one person to save humanity, which I think is a mistake, which again fits to the doer. And for those who claim they are the doer, I think you are rather unintelligent and a violent person. Who think they are the doer, I think you are violent and unintelligent. I would challenge that person. I think mercy must be given. I am doing the best I can where I am. Let me evolve. You know what I mean? I don't have to hurt myself. Now I'm asking, is that offered to ourselves? But we must, to be right by that, I must allow myself to expand. Not to be taught, to play a role in waking. Not to believe, but to come to see for oneself. As a humanity, are we having a crisis of an ego? I'm not sure how my end will come. I don't have control over it. But I bow. And I'm okay. Sir, I am suspecting, I'm talking about kindness, love, compassion, not as a doing, as a living state. They say the world of meditation also has been undertaken by many egoistical people. Every word, I did this, I did that. I'm not saying you shouldn't claim you did that. But I'm saying the claimant should not be a contamination to another, nor a restriction to live one where they are. Imagine in the last 50 years, I started off with MS-DOS computers, those days. I was around when 3.0, the window was released. From the Mac evolution to the PC evolution. Now what I see, I have an iPad lately, and I've never used my computer ever since I got the iPad. I was like, what happened? I have a phone that is smarter than me. I have a girlfriend. Her name is Siri. She talks to me regularly, which I couldn't have imagined when I was born. And I wonder in another 100 years, my God, maybe they'll crack the code for not aging. I don't know. But my God, what's the possibility? I love it. So if I say, Christine, that Master live in love, it's not a bragging of my ability. It is my humbleness of possibility. Could it be? I don't know whether I am capable of loving anyone. I'm quite grumpy. Maybe the takeaway from this talk today, could it be that I offer you some kindness to you? That's why I started by saying I'm not going to teach you what you should be doing and hold you to only your doing. You understand? I think as parents, we are the infinite believer of our children. We don't limit them more, isn't it? Maybe that's what love is. You never reduce that person to that action. You believe despite something is possible, isn't it? Could it be, Madam Sir? Maybe one of the things we can observe today, can I let go of the grip of doing and do not just hold myself only to the doing by that limiting me and then making myself available? There's a possibility. Is that the praying to God that probably people misunderstood? Maybe I can't, as this individual can't, but something more can. I promise, as a master as I am, as enlightened as I do not have the ability to generate an antibody against COVID. If I could, I would have created an antibody against my mother-in-law. I do not have such abilities, sir. No. So now if I fail, if I succeed, I place it rightly, isn't it? If I succeed, I don't claim it all. I seem to have that ability or something. Maybe I did few things right. Then if I fail, I don't have to claim it too, Now I can live. So what living is? Could it be the possibility? My father never meditated a day in his life. He's a bit of a philosopher, though. He understood quite a bit about human consciousness. Never did. But he died an awakened man. It happened for him too. So maybe what I'm inviting you a little bit, and if this is all you hear from me, this should do it. To hold myself probably in love. I know my old disciples are looking at me and say, Master, going soft, maybe. Maybe I'm inviting, this is an invitation, your invitation, to live a life in celebration, to say maybe tomorrow, we don't know what tomorrow holds. Not to allow the need for control to condemn me. Yes, then I take responsibility rightly. I don't overtake responsibility. I don't take responsibility for balding. And if you can give up responsibility for balding, you can give up responsibility for a lot of things. You don't have to prosecute yourself. You are what you are, doing what you can where you are. The only question, am I available? Am I participating in the evolving? In the East, they pray to one thing, and no matter what, at the end, they pray to fire. They put a fire and they show. The fire represents many things. One of it represents awakening. It represents awareness. It represents the living intelligence of life. Another question, do I allow that in my life? I don't condemn myself to the yesterday. I could have been this yesterday, but who knows what will I be tomorrow? And even if I can't be, it's my species that is evolving, You understand? As how our children will surpass us, they have to. That is the evolutionary law. Could it be we have been conned to believe that all is within my effort? Now let Master say a little bit about the Institute. The Institute that Master is creating, I hope someday it becomes more than Master, that it will be something that is left behind for humanity. It's a place of learning, not to be taught. A place that holds you to evolve, not to discipline, install, and tell how one should be, because nobody has the right to say how one should be. Nobody knows. 100 years ago, if you said a woman will be a president or something, it's ridiculous. Well, now, it's an absolute living reality. I think the error people do, they want to limit evolution to just them. And that is egoistical and rather stupid. And rather violent too. At most, I can be an example of an evolving human being. I cannot be the example of the peak of evolution. So maybe in that, I'm inviting you into this celebration of life. And by that, I will not be in sorrow. I cannot be. You understand? Because life is not only the byproduct of my effort, it's also a byproduct of happening. People who love me in my life don't love me because of my special ability or my ability to do or make them love me. I don't know why. And I'm okay with that. It is not a compliment to me, it's a compliment to them, sir. I don't have such powers to be able to make people love me. I don't think there's anything here in regards to that. Maybe we all can participate. Become magician like Dr. Schweitzer. He's a magician. I call him a magician. Yes. I still use some of your stuff, Dr. Schweitzer. I still have. I don't understand. It's magic, but medicine, but magic. Maybe today, can I leave you in this a little bit? I'm not sure whether I hit the topic, but maybe I've presented an idea, an invitation to learning, an invitation to grow, an invitation beyond sorrow, an invitation to the humbleness of my ability and the grandness of possibility, that I give myself and allow, and I dance with life. I think a year or two ago, we would have never imagined. I've been having a lockdown in Malaysia. It's been terrible in Malaysia. We've been locked down for months. We would have never imagined it, that this virus, what it's doing. But I'm also kind of excited at the end of this, what we're going to wake up to. Probably the humanity need a little bit of a jolt. You know what I mean? Every country that thought it had a control over it lost control, Kind of humbles us, makes us participate. Maybe humanity needed to be a little humbled, I suppose. Maybe the question I can live with you, little sentimental. By putting effort where it should be, embracing what can come to be, I allow myself to live in love. Sir, madam. Not the romantic kind. And maybe through us, some gift for humanity can be birthed, and that will be an incredible privilege. Not as a testament to my effort, to the testament of me being a container for something to happen. That would be good. Maybe I can leave you in this for a few minutes. Bye, guys. Thank you. You've been kind. Thank you.